Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Elon Musk's Tesla has announced today, officially they have purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Undoubtedly, the biggest news of the day. That's not a surprise, at least in the world of crypto, right? Probably going to go down to be one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story, in all of 2021. And I'm going to share with you opinions from a few chart analysts here. And look, the bottom line is they agree XRP is just going to follow Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, as a result of this ramped up, not just institutional adoption, but adoption from publicly traded companies, this could, I talked about this just the other day. This could absolutely not just propel the cryptocurrency asset class, but extend the longevity of the bull portion of this particular market cycle. Because if this becomes a trend, you might want to throw some of your technical analysis out the window, for the long haul anyway. And that's why you get, for instance, I cited this just the other day, Binance CEO CZ stating that he thinks perhaps this bull cycle could go another 4 years. And I cited opinions from a couple individuals as well. And interestingly enough, about, 6, maybe 7 hours before this mega news dropped of Tesla purchasing $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, I was talking about this topic. I had this article, which is now on your screen. I shared this in my videos from the Daily Hodl titled, "Billionaire Elon Musk Exploring Bitcoin Adoption for Corporate Treasuries," says On-Chain Capital co-founder. And so I said, look, don't be surprised if ultimately this happens at some point. Now, I didn't know that it was going to happen 6 freaking hours later, or at least the announcement. So that was kind of really cool timing. I know what I hate, and I don't hate that. But what I was talking about in that video is just this idea of the extension of this bull market, and the idea that I personally believe XRP is just going to follow. After everybody that got out of their XRP position or reduced their position because of the scary SEC news, once they're out, XRP just began following in tandem with Bitcoin again, albeit at a lower, artificially suppressed price point. I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just think it's interesting as an enthusiast to talk about these topics, and I enjoy running this YouTube channel purely as a hobby. That is all that it is. Now, as I record this, XRP is at 44.8 cents. And so it did get a bump too, along with the rest of the market. It's up, as I record this, 7.23% within the last 24 hours. Now, obviously, Bitcoin, among the biggest winners here. Even in terms of percent, frankly, out of the large cap coins, it's up 19% in 24 hours. Not surprising. This is some mega news, and people ended up FOMOing into Bitcoin. Humans being humans, I got it. But it's still cool. I like this. Bitcoin hit its all-time high today of $47,264.43. And also, I'm sure you're aware that Elon Musk has been pumping not just Bitcoin with his Twitter activity, but also Dogecoin. And Dogecoin, it's doing well as a result. Also, as I record this, it's back up to 7.9 cents, but it hits its all-time high also within the last 24 hours of 8.4 cents, which is pure insanity for a coin that does nothing and was started as a joke. It now has over a $10 billion market cap. What in the ever-loving hell is going on? Is this real life? I do not believe this is real life. Like, someone is messing with us. We are living in a simulation. This is proof. Here's a fun tweet from Binance CEO CZ on December 20th of 2020. How prophetic in hindsight. Look at this. Tesla, and he tagged Elon Musk, will buy crypto. Just a matter of time. This is one of the few predictions I am happy to put my name on. The real question is, do you want to be before or after them? Well, I'm happy to say that I was before. But then you got, Goldbug Peter Schiff. He jumped in. Old-timey Peter Schiff said in response to that tweet, Musk is far too smart to be dumb enough to buy Bitcoin. It's just a matter of time before you realize that too. that has not aged well. It's been a month and a half, Peter. That did not age well. And so here's the headline again. Tesla purchasing $1.5 billion. This is a Daily Hodl piece. The crypto markets are a sea of green to start the week as electric car giant Tesla announces it has bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. In a new filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Tesla revealed it also plans to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment for its fleet of vehicles. So you go, you can just tack on, I guess, an extra, like, in times of high congestion, like 4 or 5 days in terms of, completing a block. I'm only partly kidding. Anyway, here's a quote, though. In January 2021, we updated our investment policy to provide us with more flexibility to further diversify and maximize returns on our cash that is not required to maintain adequate operating liquidity. As part of the policy, which was duly approved by the audit committee of our board of directors, we may invest a portion of such cash in certain alternative reserve assets, including digital assets, gold bullion, gold exchange-traded funds, and other assets as specified in the future. Thereafter, we invested an aggregate $1.5 billion in Bitcoin under this policy and may acquire and hold digital assets from time to time or long term. Moreover, we expect to begin accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment for our products in the near future, subject to applicable laws and initially on a limited basis, which we may or may not liquidate upon receipt. And so this is the direction that I've been telling you guys. I've been highlighting for months and months and months this newer trend of publicly traded companies and institutional money continuing to purchase Bitcoin. And as far as the publicly traded companies do it, this is the thing that's really neat about this. I think the vast majority of the publicly traded companies that are jumping into Bitcoin, they're going to hold for the long haul. Maybe not necessarily all of them. Some of them might make some poor decisions on that front. But the reason that they're doing it in the first place is because they've got cash and they don't know what to do with it, and holding cash is like having a melting ice cube, because via inflation you lose purchasing power. And the United States is debasing the United States dollar. And other governments the world over are debasing other fiat currencies. And so you're just losing purchasing power. And so if you've got cash and you don't know what to do with it, and then there's Bitcoin as an option, provably scarce, like if your intent, and it is clearly Tesla's intent here, is to move money that they don't need for operating costs, if they're doing it purely because they don't have a better alternative, why the hell would they sell it? And I mean, if they really get cash strapped at some points, which I don't think anybody's predicting, but if that happened, okay, fine. Then you can convert it back into cash if you need it for operating expenses. But outside of that, is if you got a healthy business, I think the vast majority of the publicly traded companies are just going to hold it and hold it and hold it. And barely any companies have done it yet. Barely any humans that exist have ever held a cryptocurrency at any point in time. A little over 1% was the best estimate I've seen. And you still see a price today, you saw it today, of over $47,000 for Bitcoin. That's why the idea of Bitcoin to hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million, is not wacky. It's no more wacky than saying in 2010 that Bitcoin 11 years later would be worth $47,000. It's not wacky. The adoption, it's picking up pace here. Probably at I'd have to look at a chart, but I'd be willing to bet at this point it's probably looking exponential here in terms of actual adoption for this purpose. Now, the good news is for we as XRP holders here, now mind you, I'm a Bitcoin holder as well. I'm long Bitcoin, despite how much I tease it about being just antiquated from a technological perspective. And I'm just being a realist though. Like I hold Bitcoin, I'm long Bitcoin, but it's not good at stuff. Other than like store value of humans, look, the market has decided it's a winner, at least to this point. And if humans agree that purely because it's the first, it deserves to have staying power, fine. Because you know what? Humans decide in all sorts of different aspects of life that standards matter. And at least to this point, that seems to be the case. It's clear, actually not seems, it is clearly the case. And I don't know that that's ever going to change, and I'd prefer it not change. So if this is what humans have decided, and purely because it's the first, it's going to have staying power and perpetuity, despite how costly transactions are and energy intensive, all that stuff, fine. I don't care. But speaking of how energy intensive this is, shout out to Spoon Clambo. I like that name, by the way. Tagged me in this tweet along with some others in the community and wrote, "The irony of Elon Musk and Tesla selling electric cars and benefiting from $1.58 billion in reg credits in 2020, only to reinvest $1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which is inefficient, prone to 51% attack, and a wasteful energy hog." Yep, I hear what you're saying right there. Now, as far as the energy hog portion, obviously it takes way more energy to complete a transaction, run the Bitcoin blockchain in general than it does to run the XRP ledger. I have seen studies, to be fair here, where it states, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, it just entered my mind here, so I apologize if I'm off, but there may have been claims somewhere in the neighborhood of like roughly 80% of that is coming from renewable energy sources. I don't have a good way to check whether or not that's true, but if it's true, it's kind of a strong argument, but still that other 20% then, that's a waste because there's better technology. But then I just go back to, okay, if this is what the free market wants and people say Bitcoin because you were the first, even though you're a clunky old technology, we value it, fine. I can happily make peace with that. Now, what do you think is going to happen next? Take a look at this headline from Cointelegraph. Will Apple be the next company to adopt Bitcoin after Tesla? And look, I don't know. I will not be surprised if this happens in the least. I think you're going to see a number of publicly traded companies in 2021 announce. And I said that in a video yesterday, and then what do you know? Again, 6 or 7 hours later, Tesla announced. I was like, oh, how about that? Perfect timing on the part of Moon Lambo. Anyway, so jumping down here, there's an individual, his name's Paul Steves, and in a market report from Royal Bank of Canada, and so he's a Dominion Securities analyst, Paul Steves, the introduction of the tech company into crypto could create, they're talking about Tesla here, more than $40 billion in annual revenue and make waves across the industry. And so he based this prediction on the history of Bitcoin revenue. Or sorry, I meant to say Apple. If I might have said Tesla there. He based this prediction on the history of Bitcoin revenue at payments company Square, which reported more than $1.6 billion in revenue from Bitcoin in Q3 2020. Square has roughly 30 million monthly active users, a fraction of Apple's install base, reported by CEO Tim Cook to be 1.65 billion devices as of January. And here's a quote. Check this out. If Apple decides to enter the crypto exchange business, we think the firm could immediately gain market share and disrupt the industry, said Steves, adding that the move could help make the U.S. a crypto leader for up to 20 years. The firm could unlock a multi-billion-dollar opportunity with a few clicks. And so again, I just wanted to reiterate to everybody listening, even if you're new to crypto, even if you just jumped in today, you are early to the party, my friend. Did you hear just a moment ago where I cited the best estimate we have is something like a little over 1% of humans have ever held a cryptocurrency at any point in time? And we already have these prices? I'm telling you, like this is, and this is still the smallest asset class by a long shot. So look here, market cap $1.342 trillion. Okay, that's nothing. It's nothing. Like, there's so much opportunity to be had. And so, I applaud you if you're paying attention to this stuff. I'm not going to encourage you to buy, sell, or hold anything. You make your own decision here. But I applaud you for, at a minimum, looking into this. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are on the cutting edge here. All right. And then take a look at this headline, too, from crypto media outlet U Today. Grayscale acquired almost 1.5 times total Bitcoin mined in January of 2021. Well, how about that? More Bitcoin's getting gobbled up than is being produced. You guys ever heard of supply and demand dynamics? I don't even really feel like I need to run through the story. I just wanted to highlight the headline. Here's a tweet from Credible Crypto yesterday before the big news about Tesla. Not sure why all the panic from the bit of red we are seeing at the moment. This is just a bullish retest. Keep it simple. Bitcoin will decide the direction of the rest of the market, and as long as we hold 35 to 37,000, that direction is up. Talking about Bitcoin there, of course. Then he retweeted this after the big news and wrote, it was a bullish retest, up we went, new all-time high for Bitcoin. And so somebody named Aaron Terry asked Credible Crypto in response to that, bro, so XRP to follow, question mark? To which Credible Crypto responded, yep, probably. So nothing has changed on that front. It is just, it's been consolidating, and at least got a little bit of a bump today. But from what analysts are saying, perhaps we should expect it to be taken off like a rocket sooner than later here. And also he did cite, and I'm glad that he addressed this, but there's obviously all sorts of people saying that your technical analysis doesn't work. It only went up because of Tesla, blah, blah, blah. And so here's what he said on that. The chart was primed. He's talking about Bitcoin. The Tesla news may have been a catalyst. We were sitting on support with a bullish retest, would likely have gone up, maybe not so aggressively, without Tesla news too. And so basically it didn't change the general market structure, but yeah, of course, I think it's fair, obviously fair to acknowledge that with this major news, yeah, that was a catalyst. I don't think anybody's saying it wasn't. It's just to those people that say, the market structure doesn't matter, it wouldn't have happened anyway. I kind of question that. Here's chart analyst Lub Crypto. It says XRP day trade to 50 to 55 cents, so he's still got a positive outlook. And then there is even a chart analyst Rakesh Ubade, who writes for Cointelegraph, who said that in one scenario he could see potentially in the short term a move of XRP up to 65 cents. So all good things in time here. Look, it's I don't know if it's going to be a long ride for XRP relative to other altcoins rocketing up. I always suspected, relative to what I've been seeing lately, that XRP would be again among the last to pump. That was just always my suspicion before we had confirmation of particular market cycles for this portion of the market cycle anyway. Just because historically that's what it's done. XRP historically has lagged behind. It consolidates a long time historically, and then when it goes, it's like, bam, it really takes off when it takes off. And so now I don't know. Maybe that's not going to be the case. Maybe it is going to happen sooner than later because there are all sorts of chart analysts talking about XRP based on the way that they're reading the charts, moving up sooner than later. So I don't know for sure. I don't pretend to know, but it sure as hell is a fun ride, and I'm not the least bit concerned about the long-term viability of XRP. Well, maybe I don't know if that's overstated. Like, I acknowledge it's riskier to hold XRP now with the litigation going on with the SEC versus Ripple, but I guess maybe a more precise way to word my feelings on this is that I feel extremely confident that this is going to be resolved. And actually, in my very next video, I'm going to talk about just that topic, because we've got Brian Brooks from the OCC made some really interesting comments, and you're not going to want to miss it. But that'll be coming up next. I'll have that video out probably in the next couple hours or so, I'm guessing. Give or take a little bit. But thank you very much for stopping by here. I hope you guys are having a great day and enjoying this incredible crypto activity just as much as I have been. It's just been a blast tracking this stuff today and seeing the sentiment on even Twitter, which is a complete cesspool, but even just seeing the positive sentiment in general from everybody on crypto Twitter. It's been a lot of fun. So quite a ride. There's so much opportunity to be had in front of us. I'm going to seize as much of it as I personally can, while recognizing that it will be messy along the way. You're never going to perfectly buy the bottom or sell the top, and I've made peace with that. So hopefully you can too if you're going to participate. Just at least take the emotions out. Buy and sell whatever you want, but just remove the emotion. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.